Hamas is the terrorist organization that is responsible for almost 1,000 rockets shot into Israel from the Gaza Strip since the beginning of July. Every city within a 100-kilometer radius of Gaza is considered within range of rocket fire. When a rocket is aimed towards a city, sirens ring, and people have between 15 and 90 seconds to get to a bomb shelter for safety. Ever since two members of Hamas kidnapped Eyal Gifrach, Gilad Sha'ar, and Naftali Franco on June 12th, a lot has changed for the people in Israel and even for Jews around the world. I thought I would take this opportunity to express to Hamas my gratitude for the goings-on of the last month. Thank you, Hamas, for the unity you have spawned among Jews all over the world. Ever since Eyal, Gilad, and Naftali were kidnapped, every single Jew in the world has been united in prayer and performing extra mitzvot and bringing in Shabbos early and spreading awareness of what is really going on in Israel. And now, since the start of the new rockets that can reach a distance of 100 kilometers and there's a constant threat of attack, every single person in Israel can now finally relate to what the people of Sderot have been dealing with for the last 13 years. Thank you, Hamas, for giving people the opportunity to perform selfless acts of kindness, chesed, goodwill. People in Israel are spending hours and money donating food and clothing and toys to families in cities who are being hit the hardest. Food, supplies, equipment, and words of encouragement to soldiers who have been on duty for weeks. For people who have been sitting 24/7 on their computers fighting the social media war online. For people who have opened their homes to house those whose homes have been destroyed by rockets or who no longer feel safe living under constant attack. Thank you, Hamas, for ruining everyone's summer vacation. Instead of having fun in summer camp and enjoying family trips, kids are stuck hanging out around the house, eagerly anticipating the next air raid siren and the mad dash to the bomb shelter. I personally enjoy spending my summer at many of the beautiful beaches we have here in Israel. Unfortunately, not a single one of them is within 30 seconds of a bomb shelter. Thank you, Hamas, on behalf of the thousands of Israeli university students who will likely fail most, if not all, of their exams. End of year exam session in Israeli universities run from mid-June to mid-August. Instead of focusing on their studies, most students have either been called in for reserve duty, or are constantly running to safety from rocket attacks, or are too distracted by the 24/7 news updates. Thank you, Hamas, for proving that a woman can get dressed and out of the house in less than a minute. Thank you, Hamas, for bomb shelter selfies. There's an entire Facebook group and hashtag dedicated to this phenomenon. Because air raid sirens have been ringing off the hook, so to speak, and they can come at the most unpredictable times, you never know where you're going to be, what the situation will be, and who you'll be with when you need to run to the bomb shelter. A selfie with your family, a selfie with the entire staff of your office, a selfie with the new friends you've met in your building's bomb shelter, a selfie under the table at a bar mitzvah, a selfie at 2 a.m. while wearing PJs. People post pictures or stories of funny or crazy situations they've been in relation to the shelter. The best one is of my best friend who had a date, and the siren went off just as the guy got to the house. So he had to spend 10 minutes in the safe room with the rest of the family who he'd never met. This Facebook status got easily over 200 likes. Yeah, this is how social media obsessed Israelis make the best out of a bad situation. Thank you, Hamas, for giving Israel the award for #1 most ethical army. The Israel Defense Forces does everything it can to avoid casualties in Gaza. They send out leaflets and phone calls to Gazan civilians, warning them of oncoming attacks on terrorist bases and telling them basically just to get out of the way. And they stop attacks mid-action when they find out the civilians are in the vicinity. Yet, Hamas still encourages their women and children to act as human shields and become martyrs. Thank you, Hamas, for giving Israel the award for #1 most democratic country. Please tell me what country would allow a person who hates the country and encourages terror attacks against said country to hold a seat in the government. Khanin Zoabi, a Palestinian member of Knesset, denies that the kidnappers of Eyal, Gilad, and Naftali are considered terrorists and that the IDF search for them was terrorism. Moreover, she encourages Hamas's rocket attacks on Israel. Why is she sitting in the government? Thank you, Hamas, for reminding us that the world is still anti-Semitic. You've probably heard about the Belgian store owner who won't sell to Jews, the attacks on the 3 synagogues in Paris, the Hitler was right tag on Twitter, ironically thought up by Holocaust deniers. Thank you, Hamas, for reminding us how biased the world is when it comes to Israel. Thousands of Arabs die every week around the world, majority in places like Syria and Afghanistan. But which deaths are reaching the front page of newspapers around the world? Yeah, just a few that die in Gaza. The US State Department has told Israel that there is more that can be done to prevent civilian deaths in Gaza. For comparison's sake, between 2001 and 2014, about 21,000 to 23,000 civilians were killed in Afghanistan, 20,000 to 30,000 in Pakistan, 133,000 to 147,000 in Iraq. All these civilians were killed by US, French, British, and German forces. But which ones are they calling out? Thank you, Hamas, for showing us just how desperate people can be just to speak out against Israel. People are spreading pictures and videos of innocent Palestinian children being murdered by the Israelis in Gaza, when in fact, these pictures and videos were either posed or taken from media coverage in Syria, or even from scenes in movies. This was revealed by the BBC, actually. Thank you, Hamas, for showing us who is on our side. It's amazing to see the amount of support we have this time around from world leaders, human rights organizations, and celebrities who have clearly condemned Hamas's attack on Israel and supported Israel's right to defend itself. Places such as France, Germany, Australia, the UK, the Philippines, certain organizations in the US, Simon Cowell, Scarlett Johansson. Most notable, of course, is Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who not only stated outright support for Israel's actions of self-defense, but also condemned Hamas's use of human shields. Thank you, Hamas, for reminding us not to take our friends and family for granted. Be it when the boys went missing, or when the rockets started shooting down on an hourly basis, and now on a minute-to-minute basis, when the soldiers invaded Gaza. I don't think there's a person in Israel who can sleep through the night out of worry. Thanks again for watching. I hope that this whole situation is going to end soon, and with as few Israeli deaths as possible, and also as few civilian deaths in Gaza as possible. I know it was a really long time since my last video, but like I'm a really busy person. Hopefully I'm working on a video kind of like giving a quick lowdown of what's been going on in Israel and in my life under the circumstances of the war against Hamas in Gaza, Operation Protective Edge. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it. Hopefully people can maybe get a laugh out of it or just feel some encouragement that there's still good going on. Alright, thanks again for watching and hope to see you next time. Thanks again for watching! You can click here to watch my previous vlog, probably one of my best, so you might not want to miss out. Click on the squares below to either watch all my vlogs, check out my channel page, or subscribe to my channel to be the first to find out when I upload something new. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.